Hello, this is Attila from the Third Code in Melbourne, Australia. Well, like I say, in space, Houston, we have a problem. The problem here is that there was a leak on the roof of this building, and the water came in and it caused some serious rusting of the metal angles for the plasterboard. Well, not for the plasterboard, but for that corner there above the window, and the top of the window itself. It's a metal window and it's completely rusted away. So you know, I've dug out whatever I could and I'm going to clean it and treat the rust, and I'll just show you what to do to treat the rust and to make sure it lasts quite as long as possible. Okay, because I mean, you don't want the rust to come back in a couple of months or whatever. Okay, so what I've done is I've opened up all the areas that I thought there may be hidden rust behind. I've removed some of the putty from the windows and removed some sealant from between the top of the window and the actual window reveal. And what I'm going to do is saturate all the rusted area. I've removed all the loose rust, and what I'm going to do is saturate all those rusted areas with this stuff, Penetrol. And it's a very sort of thin oil, and it really penetrates into all the little spaces, and it sort of creates a nice film. And because its density is smaller than water, so it's got much tinier particles, so it doesn't allow water to pass through, and it's going to work beautifully. So what I'll do, I'll sort of soak all those rusted areas in this stuff, Penetrol, and leave it to dry for a day or so, and then use probably an oil-based undercoat, oil-based primer, just to be on the safe side, and then let that dry as well, and then I can start doing the actual patching up and plastering and repairing, and after that I can start painting as well. So yeah, lots of prep when you're dealing with rust, but it's got to be done. Okay, so it's the next morning now, so just having a look how this thing is looking. The rusted areas, they're responding quite well to the Penetrol. You can see that the stuff has sort of soaked in all the rusted areas, and it's all quite firm because I removed most of the loose stuff. So the next step would be, just to be on the safe side, to apply some rust primer. Okay, and again I'm going to go with the spray version. This is, just one I picked up from Bunnings right now, and hopefully it will work well. You know, obviously it's oil based, so you know, that helps in rust inhibition, and you know, just to be on the safe side, I could go over the Penetrol straight with some other primer, like Zinsta Smart Primer, which is water based, but just to be safe, I prefer to use this oil based stuff, and then once that dries, I can start plastering. Alright, so that's what I'll do now. I'll just spray this stuff over all those surfaces. Yeah, normally I would use Norglass No Rust primer, which is premium stuff, but because all of these areas are sort of hard to reach, and you know, little nooks and what have you behind the behind the wall and wherever, there's these little holes and little cracks that I can't get to with a brush, so I'll prefer to use a spray version of some sort of oil-based rust primer. Okay, Attila here from the third coat. Now, just an update on this window reveal, which was completely rusted away. What I did, so I sort of soaked the rusted metal. I sort of removed all the loose rust and soaked the rusted metal in Penetrol, and then I applied some rust primer, and once that dried, I've replastered that area. I still need to sort of tidy it up and give it one last top coat, sand it, and then I can paint, and that will be it. Bit of putty in the window, but yeah, so going pretty good. Attila from the third coat here. Well, hopefully you can see something. Yep. Okay, so I've put the final skim coat on the masonry this morning, and just wait for it to dry, and then I can sand it back and give it another coat of rust primer, like stain sealer, stain blocker primer, because you know, like when I treated the actual metal, the rusted metal, okay, that ensures that is not going to carry on rusting anymore. But you know, some stains may still show through, especially, you know, with all that water-based stuff that goes on top of the rusted metal, like the plaster, the skim coat, and then the water-based paint. So I'm just wanting to make sure that there's going to be no stains coming through the final finish. So I'm going to use a coat of rust primer on the actual skim coat. Okay, so the next step was obviously I sanded the skim coating down, and this morning I primed all the plaster, and I primed the windows as well. The window wasn't originally part of the job, but decided I might as well give it a coat, just to sort of, because it also had some parts, especially at the top, that were rusted away. So I decided to just paint the whole window. So I primed it. When I paint windows, especially when I prime them, I like to just overpaint onto the glass, and that, you know, for one, it's sort of faster, but also it allows me to sort of paint behind the putty, yeah, like, you know, that sort of protects, adds a bit more protection against condensation, especially on the outside, but even inside as well. You know, you do get a bit of condensation in the winter, and can cause a bit of trouble. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to top coat the window, and wait for that to dry. Probably you're going to have to speed it up with the heat gun a little bit, but because you know, I got to finish this by tonight. So paint the window, then once that's dry, paint the surrounding wall. So just this one wall, I've just been to the paint shop to match the colour, and hopefully it's not going to be too different. But you know, I'm not going to be painting the whole wall. It shouldn't stand out too much from the rest of the room. Okay, tiller from the third coat. So this job is done. What I've done is just put back the blind and cleaned up, removed the overpaint from the glass. Yeah. Just going to vacuum now, and that will be it. So, you know, it took a while because of all the rust that was on there, and but you know, it's not showing through. There's no rust stains, so it's a job well done. And well, you know, the colour of the window is not the same as it was before, but it won't be much of an issue.